Alright, let's play some Heretic E1M8 Hellsmaw, the last level of the first episode. And the music starts nicely. And it's a good but a fairly kinda ominous tone. Kinda like things are coming to an end, but it casts that certain uncertainty. That's what I like about this song. And let's grab these. And we are perfectly fine over here. As long as you keep moving, you should be spared for most of the problems. But apparently there is somebody out there, like you perhaps? Yeah? You might want to die. And let's just ignore that lava, it's not really that big of a deal. Alright, let's pick up these. And some reading. Bedtime stories. Right, I'm gonna use a quartz flask, and then we use the switch. And then there's that door. And to get across, you can use this teleporter. Shoot these, but be careful. And these will always regenerate, so... And of course, all the secrets of this level are to be found from this room. A bag of holding. And last but not least, a shadow sphere. So then, what we want to do next is we want to shoot these. And then we use this, walk across, grab the dragon claw, and these guys are released. And use these regenerating... I'm so tempted to call them barrels, but they're not exactly barrels, but they do serve that kind of a purpose, so technically I'm not really wrong either, so let's grab some final minute goodies. And now we need a Tome of Power. And yeah, those are Iron Liches down there. Those medieval Cacodemon type of enemies, they have various projectile-based attacks. Like those, ice-type attacks. I think they were actually ice-type attacks. Even they don't really freeze you or anything, but if you take a direct hit from that, it's gonna do a lot of damage. And also they have those tornado attacks and those, fire columns or whatever. So, at this point, I'm looking to activate a Tome of Power, but I want to kind of find a suitable moment to do that. And also, just so that I can fight them easily. And yeah, those tornado attacks are pretty nasty, and to have a little bit more space to move around, I'm gonna use that Ring of Invincibility. Alright, they are taken care of, but it's not over yet. But for you, I'm afraid it's over right now. So, that's all. All the secrets and everything. That's how E1M8 comes to an end. With the destruction of the Iron Liches and their minions, the last of the undead are cleared from this plane of existence. These creatures had to come from somewhere. Though, and you have the sneaky suspicion that the fiery portal of Hell's Maw opens onto their home dimension. To make sure that more undead or even worse things don't come true, you'll have to seal Hell's Maw from the other side. Of course, this means you may get stuck in a very unfriendly world. And no one ever said being a heretic was easy. Yeah, that's something that you're gonna certainly discover when you play this game. E4M1, anybody? Yeah, but that map is just insane. But anyways, that's how the first episode comes to an end. The first episode of Heretic. And not too bad. Kind of a nice episode, nice introduction, and it kind of sets itself apart from Doom, because in Doom you kind of get killed in the end, kind of, and all that. But in here it's a little bit different, because once you kill those Iron Liches, they kind of, release the gates of hell upon you in a way when that wall lowers and all those, tons of disciples, and I think there must have been some nitro golems in there, or it seemed that I heard some nitro golems in there and all that. So, but in any case, the hell gates kind of open and all that, so it was kind of a little bit of an abstract introduction to, the second episode, so you kind of get the idea that it's not over yet, and you have to go on, and all that. But, those Iron Liches, those are my favorite Heretic enemies by far, because I love their design. They're very, 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 very Cacodemon-ish enemies, if you will, but they're like, I just don't know, but I never really considered Cacodemons to be that intimidating. But these guys are like way more intimidating. But I think it's mostly because they have those red eyes and they have that, of course they have the similar smile compared to Cacodemons as well, but it's probably their attacks that make them a lot more terrifying. Although they cannot really melee you at all, so they don't have that kind of a bite attack that Cacodemons have in Doom, but they do have various long-range attacks, like those, blue ice projectiles or something. And when you take a direct hit from that, it's going to be pretty bad. And even if you were around the corner, the chances are that there's going to be a ricochet hitting you while you are taking cover. And not to mention that those tornado attacks, while they don't really do an awful lot of damage, but the problem with that tornado attack usually is that it follows you for quite some time before dissipating. Well, tornadoes don't probably do that in real life, but they do dissipate eventually. But anyways, those tornado attacks are a little bit tricky because they might sometimes, depending on a different setting, they might kind of trap you and kind of expose you to more of Iron Lich's attacks, and it has actually happened to me many times where you actually get, stranded in a corner while that tornado thing is doing damage to you. You cannot really move and all that, and then there are gonna be those other attacks hitting you, and you might die really quickly. So. But yeah, Iron Lich is pretty decent enemies, and I like them. And also their sounds are kind of terrifying. That kind of a weird breathing sound or whatever they do when... It's kind of more of a roaming sound or whatever it is, but they're kind of terrifying enemies. And I played Heretic for the first time, or the registered version, at a fairly late age, around my 20s or so. But I was terrified of the Iron Liches, because they look so creepy and all that, but I think that's enough of them. We will certainly encounter plenty of more of those Iron Liches in the upcoming episodes, but probably now I think it would be a good time to discuss a little bit about the first episode. I'd say that, as I said, it sets itself apart from Doom, and the ending is somewhat similar, so you get the idea that, okay, this is not over yet. But due to various different play mechanics in Heretic, like flying and inventory items, it kind of allows the designers also to play with or toy with different ideas and all that. So, for example, in some of the later levels in this episode, let's say E1M7, for example, in that level, there actually was this one secret near the blue key, where you actually had to fly to get the secret. So that's something that you cannot really do in Doom. So things like that. And of course we had Crushers in episode 1. And I think in case of Doom, the first Crushers were introduced in E2M2. Or the first Crushers that I can think of. But anyways, I think that's all. So yeah, it's a decent episode. Nicely done, fun to play, and of course it's still pretty easy. But in the next episode, where we're gonna play, we're gonna face new enemies. We're also getting some new weapons and all that. So, but yeah, I think that's all. So that's how the first episode is done, or in this case, in case of this video, E1M8. But anyway, consider this as a little bit of a more, summarizing of episode 1 and all that. So I try to keep all of these EXM8 videos so that I can, make a summary of the episode and, the experience and all that. But yeah, in any case, that's all. So next time we're going to check out episode 2, Hell's Maw, which is part of the registered version, because the shareware version, like Doom, had only, the first episode and all that. But yeah, I've been rambling for too long, so yeah. Next time, episode 2. So, see you around.